Imperial flags reign across the galaxy.
Can you be trusted without your shackles?
Let's just get this over with, shall we?
We've a mission for you. A major weapons test is imminent. We need to know how to destroy it.
If you're really doing this, I want to help.
Good.
Good. I've been recruiting for the rebellion for a long time.
We destroyed our home. I fight the Empire now.
I fear nothing. All is as the Force wills it.
The captain says you are a friend. I will not kill you.
Thanks. There isn't much time. Every day they grow stronger.
There is a 97.6% chance of failure.
He means well.
This is our chance to make a real difference. Are you with me?
All the way.
Hey YouTubers, this is Charlie. So we finally got our Darth Vader Star Wars Rogue One trailer, so let's break it down. They totally did the Spider-Man Civil War thing, but it's both Disney, so you understand. Like, they keep him to the very end of the trailer. We finally got to see Darth Vader, rise Lord Vader, even though it was just breathing. I love the color palette too, like they have all the green in the Rebels base with Mon Mothma here as they drag her in, then you have red for Darth Vader. The whole theme song of the trailer was based on the Imperial March. Like, the whole idea is that the Empire is reaching its height of power. The rebellion hasn't quite formed yet. There are still a number of splinter cells, so even though a lot of the characters that are forming this Ocean's 11 team to go steal the Death Star plans are part of the rebellion, they're not necessarily part of the same cells. There's no unifying force like you see in the original trilogy. And for those that are confused, if you can't tell by the designs in the trailer, this takes place between Episode 3, after Anakin fully becomes Darth Vader, and before Episode 4, where we meet Luke Skywalker for the first time. So the whole idea of this movie is that we're looking at a corner of the Star Wars universe at a really big event from a different perspective, something that we wouldn't normally see in the main films, because those are largely dedicated to following the Skywalker family. And even though via Darth Vader, the Skywalker family is a part of this, he's not necessarily the biggest character in the film. He's just kind of floating in the background. The actor who plays Director Krennic, the person in the Grand Admiral white-looking uniform, he says that he's the big bad. Darth Vader is just swirling in the background. And one detail that I really like about the Death Star is that the laser is on the bottom side, like the sphere. It's almost like it's turned upside down. But when you think about it, if the Death Star were actually sitting above a planet, the laser would be firing down anyway, so that would be the correct way for it to sit. But it looks really cool when it's right side up. And when you're in space, like if you want to get really technical about it, because there's no gravity, it really doesn't matter what position your ship is in that you're on, as long as there's gravity on that ship binding you to the floor. So you've already met all these Rebel characters, you know who the protagonists are, but there's a lot more dialogue in this trailer. You get a better sense for Jyn Erso's relationship with the rebellion. Even though she hates the Empire, she wasn't necessarily part of the rebellion before this, but she's a troublemaker. She has a very Liam Neeson-y particular set of skills that they need in order to get the Death Star plans. So it sounds like she's done something really bad, gets arrested by them, and they offer her this deal. Like, look, you hate the Empire, we hate the Empire, you're in big trouble, we can help you out, but you have to go steal these plans for us. So I do really like the idea of more complicated heroes, because it's a much more believable take on the characters. Like, everybody in the galaxy isn't all good or all bad, it's all just like shades of gray. So in that spirit, you have Alan Tudyk's character, the droid that he's playing. He's probably going to be one of the best things about this movie. He's kind of like an assassin type droid, something that you might see standing next to IG-88 when Darth Vader hires all those bounty hunters during Empire Strikes Back, but he's been repurposed by the rebels, but he hasn't lost any of his attitude. So he's got that surly R2-D2 attitude, but he has the ability to speak, so he can just tell you that he doesn't give a shit. He's gonna be like the Rocket Raccoon of the group, just the person who just says the most awful things imaginable and just winds up being hilarious. So he wasn't in the trailer, but the other really big new thing that they revealed is that Bail Organa, Jimmy Smits, is coming back, from the prequels as Bail Organa because he was still alive during this time. He presumably died when Alderaan was destroyed by the Death Star. So the interesting thing, and I think I talked about this during my teaser video, is that this is one of those movies where you kind of already know where the story ends up. Like, we know what happens during episode 4. So we know that they get the plan. So it's not so much about surprise, like even though Darth Vader is a big surprise that they put him in this movie. But the real fun of this is going to be the suspense. So that's really what they're leaning on. Plus you have the thread of Darth Vader. I'll be interested to see if he pops his lightsaber in the film, or if he just walks around looking really menacing, choking people through their TVs. But you do get the sense from the rest of the Empire that they don't necessarily hold him in high regard. They are afraid of him, but then there's other leadership in the military that just want to have absolutely nothing to do with him. They don't even care about the Force. Like, everybody thinks that the Jedi has died off. The Force is some myth, some old wives' tale. So then Darth Vader has to show you the power of the Force. So I'll be interested to see how they invoke a very, power of the Force moment. Like, it's all about belief. So Donnie Yen's character is like the very spiritual Force user. I don't think he's supposed to be a Jedi, but he's a Force user, so I think a lot of that wisdom is going to come through him. So I'll be interested to see if he has like a Yoda type moment where he's, like, let go of your anger, let go of your hate, and some big miraculous Force event happens. But I am expecting Darth Vader to do very Darth Vader-y things. So let me know in the comments, even though we know what the plot is going to be, because we've all seen the other Star Wars movies, so we know how it ends up. What do you think the big surprises of the movie are going to be? Like, what do you think that Darth Vader is going to do in the film to make everyone's heads explode in the movie theater? Just like, oh my god, that was so amazing. They kind of tease like a Luke Skywalker AT-AT moment, like when he took down the AT-AT Walker when they have the bazooka. But the difference here is that none of these people are ringers like Luke was. They're not as strong in the Force. So it's just going to be like a real down, dirty Star Wars fight that looks like a classic Star Wars movie. That's what I'm most excited about too. It looks like the special effects have been polished a lot since they released the last trailer. So I'm really excited for this. If you guys didn't know, it's coming out in December, so there'll probably be another big trailer with even more Darth Vader in it. I don't know if we're going to see the Emperor. Darth Vader was really like the only other big dark side Force user that we heard about in the movie. And Orso Krennic is really more like the Grand Moff Tarkin of the movie. So I think the Emperor's presence in the movie is going to be a lot like it was in the first Star Wars movie. Like, he existed, people talked about him, but you didn't really see him. So what's going to happen next is there was a whole bunch of comic book news that I didn't get to today, so I'll be posting a bunch of videos for that next. But if there's any other Star Wars videos that you guys want, just let me know in the comments. So while you guys wait for my next video to post, you can click here for my Star Wars Episode 8 teaser video, and you can click here to learn all about what's going on in The Flash Season 3. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.